Now some residents are using a petition to right what they say is wrong. And the public comes out to a meeting tonight in Miami to discuss cleanup efforts at a former tire plant. KOAM News at 10 is next. Now at 10, authorities in Joplin ticket a homeless woman, but some residents are pushing back. Plus, workers at a recycling center in southeast Kansas look toward an uncertain future. And a public meeting tonight in Miami answers questions and concerns about a former tire production plant.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
One woman's story sparks a movement. What started as a routine police encounter with a homeless woman in Joplin has ignited a petition drive calling for policy changes. This is KOAM News. I'm Dow Quick. The incident over the weekend is now raising questions about how the city treats some of its most vulnerable residents. KOAM's Ty Park sat down with the parties involved to dig deeper into the issue and the ordinances involved.
That her blanket and her food bowl are considered camping gear. My dog's food bowl is considered camping gear, which is not, because it's dog's food and water bowl, and that's why it was camping gear is prohibited.
Kayla Head was waiting for the mini Hackney Center to open Saturday morning, and when she was ticketed for camping. The police chief tells KOAM that Kayla Head violated the ordinance by taking up the entire bench that Saturday morning. It's not the first time she's been ticketed for related ordinances, and it has a group of residents forming a petition to take to the city council.
Jail for essentially tickets that came from jaywalking or sitting on a bench inappropriately, nonviolent crimes and non-threatening crimes that end them up in jail because they don't have any resources to pay their fines, so they don't go to court.
The petition is calling for the city council to end ticketing and arrest for nonviolent survival-related actions, but to see these resources redirected toward housing and support services.
Getting the word out there and letting people know how the homeless individuals in our area are being treated, because there are certain places where they know to go throughout the day that they won't get in trouble.
Mayor of Joplin tells KOAM that they are working with area agencies to address and help those in the homeless community.
We definitely cannot police our way, arrest our way out of homelessness in our community. It's going to take all of us working together with compassion in our hearts to do the next right thing and help those citizens who are a little down on their luck right now. But that does not excuse anyone in our community, whether they be housed or unhoused, from breaking the laws and the ordinances that we have on the book that governs how we are going to conduct ourselves inside the city limits of Joplin.
Oh, I don't know why they're doing this. We're doing the best we can, trying to be on the list and do everything we're supposed to try and get housing, and it's not moving forward right now.
In Joplin, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
Joplin city officials tell KOAM that the homeless community is given grace due to their circumstances. The petition can be signed up until October 20th. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy now for our first look at the weather.
It definitely turned out to be another warm one for us today, back into the 80s once again. And we're going to see this continuing as we go through the week. All right, so by morning, mid-60s to start. Go into the mid-80s again on Wednesday afternoon. In fact, we stay into the 80s all week long. Now, we get some thunderstorms in here as we go into Friday night. That's a cold front. That's going to cool us down just a bit. Nothing out there right now. Pretty much clear skies. A little bit of ground clutter kind of popping up on the radar. But we're going to see pretty much clear skies through the night. We drop back 63, 64 degrees. As we go through the day, we warm mid-80s during the afternoon. And then we'll slide back into the mid-60s once again as we go into tomorrow night. 82 for a high today, well above our average high of 72. We're going to look at those thunderstorm chances for you here in just a bit.
All right, we'll see you soon. The SEK Recycling Center has operated in Crawford County for more than 2 decades. But now those running that nonprofit say it's at risk of closing, possibly as soon as by the end of the year. Recent years have brought financial stress as money brought in by materials remains the same or even decreases as operating costs continue to grow. On average, the center says it loses $10 for every car that comes through with a donation. Staff have even met with the consultant to see where they can make cuts, but they say community support is needed for them to survive.
They have continued to support this volunteer operation because they believe in recycling and the things that we stand for. And so I would say that if ever there was a time they wanted to get involved, to step up, to help out, now is the time to do so.
The center is currently partnered with Crawford County to offer a hazardous household waste program, which helps support the site financially. Staff say they've also been speaking with the city of Pittsburgh about a possible recycling pickup service, which could offer the center more donations and financial stability. Some good news for the city of Pittsburgh. The Kansas Department of Health and Environment will provide $45 million to help fund improvements to the city's wastewater treatment facility. The funding will be used to build a new facility just north of the existing wastewater treatment plant. The new plant will treat just over 4 million gallons per day. The new treatment facility will serve the city as well as the Sugar Creek processing plant. Representatives from Michelin face questions from the public tonight about ongoing efforts to clean up benzene contamination at Miami's old BF Goodrich tire plant. KOAM's Blake Gully was there as residents learned about the groundwater treatment system and what's next.
Decades after the BF Goodrich tire plant shut down, work continues to clean up contaminated groundwater beneath the property. Michelin, now responsible for the site, says the treatment system is showing results in removing harmful chemicals like benzene, which can cause long-term health risk.
It is an effective technology for removing benzene mass from the subsurface, and it is working as designed, just based on the operations monitoring data that we've collected, then and also some of the groundwater monitoring data that's been collected. Benzene and LNAPL mass in the subsurface continue to be removed, again based on the data that we've collected, and that is being treated.
Company leaders say the cleanup system has been running smoothly and continues to reduce contamination underground. They emphasize that the technology is working and it is cleaning the groundwater while keeping emissions within safe limits. Still, some residents say that they want more transparency, especially for the families who live or go to school near the site.
There's a lot of families, a lot of kids that go to school right next door to it, and just so that they would have some peace of mind.
For longtime residents and activists, that peace of mind has been decades in the making.
I myself worked in one of those buildings for 15 years when the plant was operating. All of us worried during the years of operation, and then when it went quiet, it went silent, we wondered what lay beneath, and now we know there really is a substance down there, and we're really gonna not rest until it's all gone.
Reporting in Miami, Blake Gully, KOAM News.
Michelin says the groundwater treatment system will continue operating into 2026, with more progress expected in the months ahead. Voters in Miami failed to approve a $14.7 million school bond today. The 12-year bond would have built a new elementary school to replace two aging buildings from the 1950s. This would have moved Washington and Roosevelt elementary students into a modern facility at Will Rogers. The bonds would have also funded plumbing and HVAC improvements at Nichols School. Supporters say a new building would provide a safe storm shelter and in-class cancellations due to weather. Although the school bond earned a majority of the votes, it failed to reach the 60% of votes to legally pass. The fun and festivities continue at Maple Leaf Festival tonight. Coming up, we're going to take you to Taco Tuesday, but up first, volunteers in Arkansas look to feed the community while wondering how they'll put food on their own table. Charlie Kirk supporters gathered in Joplin's Landreth Park this evening on what would have been the conservative activist's 32nd birthday. The tribute to Kirk included worship songs, inspirational messages, and personal stories about how Kirk changed lives. The Joplin Area Ministerial Alliance partnered with Turning Point USA to host the event. With the government shutdown rolling toward a third week, many nonprofit organizations have pulled in as many volunteers as possible to provide for communities in need. As Maya Ellison reports, food banks in Arkansas are looking to feed that need.
Them already done, all of them done.
All hands were on deck Monday morning, hoping to help those affected by the government shutdown.
I want everybody. I don't want no one to go without no food. It's not fair for us to go home with groceries, but they don't have anything.
That's Deborah Strickland Allen, founder of First Ward Living Grace Food Pantry in Pine Bluff. She and her team spent the morning filling boxes for those in need of assistance.
They sent a truck down here this morning with good items for the people. Good items. Frozen dinners. They have chicken. They have ground chuck. They have ground beef. They have onion.
The items you see were provided through the Arkansas Food Bank. Allen says they wanted to make sure everyone was taken care of.
They just pull up here at the church parking lot and they'll load them up. They'll load them up.
Thank you.
CBS News reports that federal employees began receiving layoff notices Friday, and more than 4,000 federal workers could soon lose their jobs. That's thousands of families now wondering when they'll see their next paycheck.
We have 17,000 federal employees within our Central Arkansas service area. With that, if they're the sole breadwinner for the family, that means that entire family now is going to be wondering where their next meal is coming from.
Claire Tiffin with the Arkansas Food Bank says the shutdown not only leaves employees in a bind, but the food bank feeling the effects as well.
I would say the biggest concern is a long shutdown. SNAP, WIC, all the USDA product is good through October. But if we go into November, we could see those services be impacted.
But that isn't stopping their preparations or their mission to help.
We're doing emergency fundraising so that we can make sure we have extra food available. Emergency fundraising also helps us to do distributions that are more than what we had already planned for.
If you're interested in helping a food bank near you, there are plenty right here in the 4-state area that welcome volunteers and donations. Taco Tuesday took over Carthage Central Park this evening. The Carthage Chamber of Commerce hosted the event as part of this week's Maple Leaf Festival activities. The celebration featured a taco contest where local vendors competed for the best tacos in town, with award announcements and all proceeds supporting Carthage R9 scholarships.
I am delighted and proud and with great honor because this is so important when we all unite together as one. That's what it's all about. We come with flavors. In our culture, food, it brings everybody together. It never fails us. So this is a testimony of bringing our community, sharing our recipes, all for a good cause.
Attendees enjoyed live music from Mariachi Floor while sampling tacos and voting for their favorites. Doug returns next with a complete look at your forecast. And a little bit later, some area students get a glimpse of their possible future thanks to a career fair at Pitt State.
And it definitely turned out to be another warm one for us today, and our temperatures, they're going to stay up there as we go through the next couple days. We're going to stay pretty boring weather-wise, at least over the next 48 hours. Really nothing going on right now. We have some clouds to our north and to our west. Besides that, pretty much clear skies. Let's go through time. We're going to go into your Wednesday morning. We start 64-ish across the region. As we go through the morning, we warm to about 80 to 82 by the noon hour, and then by the afternoon, a nice little light southerly wind. And I think most of us 84, 85, maybe 86, especially once you get into our western counties. All right, Wednesday night, carbon copy. We do it again, back down into low to mid 60s. And then as we go into Thursday, a few more mid and upper level clouds streaming through, but right back up, 84. 85 degrees once again. All right, day planner on Wednesday, 63 to start, 80 by noon. High temp, 85 degrees. Why are we so warm? See this twist right here, right on top of Dallas? That is a big dome of high pressure. So if you follow the arrows all the way back through Georgia, this is what we call big dome of high pressure. Until it breaks down, we're not going to see any changes. Guess what? It starts to break down as we head toward the weekend. With it, we get a cold front and we get some thunderstorms. So in the yellow, we have the chances to get some stronger storms, maybe a little beefy, late Friday night into Saturday. And then on Saturday, this kind of slides off toward the east. Stronger storms, kind of low-grade severe storms, but we're on that backside. So if this system slows down just a bit, we may need to watch it on Saturday as well. Most of Friday is going to be dry, but as we get into Friday evening, scattered showers and thunderstorms kind of getting going along that I-35 corridor. Hopefully, we can get some high school football in before those make it in. Stronger thunderstorms work in Friday night into Saturday morning. I think these will eject east, but then some redevelopment along that I-44 corridor as we get into the early afternoon. So we're going to watch that, and then all this rotates out Saturday night. We clear out, but look at these temps, upper 40s by Sunday morning. All right, potential rainfall. We're 3-4 days out. This just gives you an idea. We should see widespread, 1/4 of an inch, maybe 1/2 an inch across the region. All right, so our big dome of high pressure. Watch it break down. Here comes this system that affects us as we go into Friday and Saturday. It will push east. Here comes the ridge again. So we warm up next week. Right behind it, another storm system moves in the middle of the week. Then back to the ridge, warm up again. Another storm system. So it stays very active as we go through the next couple weeks. 85 on your Wednesday, 84 Thursday, 84 on Friday. A little bit cooler, 78 Saturday, 72 on Sunday, and cooler overnight lows.
Doug, thanks. Still ahead, the people have spoken. We're going to announce the Week 6 winner for high school football's Performance of the Week. And another Pitt State football star has received weekly honors after the Gorillas' big win over Washburn. We'll have those details and more coming up in sports.
The Pittsburgh Purple Dragons have been a mainstay atop the boys soccer standings, currently sitting as one of 2 teams in Class 5A with 10 wins. The Purple Dragons looking for a second straight win on Tuesday, hosting Chanute. Purple Dragons returning home for senior night after beating Field Kinley on the road on Monday. Early first half, Blue Comets on the attack. Alex Ogle finds Lawrence Cheney. His one-timer tickles the twine to give Chanute an early lead. Later in the half, still 1-0. This time it's going to be a Pittsburgh corner kick. Luke Moss, he'll get his head on it the second time, and it sneaks over Jared Cleaver in goal. It appears to hit over the line, but the referee says no goal. But just a few minutes later, Dragons back on the attack. Anderson Mota Hernandez finds Abner Salas in the box, and he nets the equalizer. Pittsburgh improves to 11-3 on the season with a 5-4 win over Chanute on senior night. Webb City Soccer also back at home, hosting Willard at Cardinal Stadium. First half, Tigers on the attack. Barrett Jarvis dribbling around. He'll send a crosser into the box, connecting with Mason Wilson, but Tristan Smith, he's there for the save. Later in the half, Willard back on the attack. Wilson, he'll take another pass, fire from a long distance. Smith shows off the hops and makes the save once again. Still in the first half, Tigers trying to break through with a free kick. Wilson again, but Smith lays out for the diving save to keep it scoreless, but Willard picks up the road win in overtime. 2-1 the final. Webb City Volleyball also in action at home tonight, taking on Neosho. Third set off the Cardinal serve. This diving dig would keep the point alive and help set up Annabelle Rogers on the outside, who converts here for the kill. A couple of points later, it's Webb City's turn. This time, it's going to be the flip of the first play with the Neosho serve. Cardinals attack via the middle with Kayla Maxwell, who records a kill of her own. Still in that third set, this defensive deflection from Webb City keeps the play alive. And next, Maxwell once again finding a soft spot in the defense and finding hardwood. Cardinals down the Wildcats at home in 4 sets. Every Friday night on our weekly Press Box show, we ask you, the viewers, to vote on who you think had the performance of the week. And after a strong list of candidates from last Friday night, the pick is in. Colgan's Clayton Adamson is the winner of our Week 6 Performance of the Week after his monster game under the lights on Friday night. The Panthers star running back led the way with 5 touchdowns in just the first half in Colgan's big win over Jayhawk Lynn. Adamson's been a key piece of the offense throughout this entire year as the Panthers are off to a perfect 6-0 start to the season. We encourage you to get involved and get in on the fun every weekend by voting for the Performance of the Week at KOAMnews.com/pigskin. Clayton Adamson isn't the only local athlete to receive weekly recognition, as another Pitt State Gorilla has received Player of the Week honors for their efforts on the field. Pitt State kicker Austin Schmidt has been named the MIAA Special Teams Player of the Week. The Gorillas win over Washburn on Saturday. Schmidt connected on a pair of field goals from 33 and 42 yards. But he also had one of the top moments of the day. Late in the fourth quarter, Pitt State ran a fake field goal, and Schmidt rushed into the end zone for his first career touchdown. And this wasn't just his first score in the Crimson and Gold, but Schmidt's first ever touchdown in his life. What a day for him on homecoming, getting some honors, but also a moment he's never going to forget. His first ever touchdown, especially at the collegiate level, too.
And the Performance of the Week winner, 5 touchdowns in the first half.
Yeah.
A lot of teams don't get that many touches in a half, much less touchdowns.
Earlier this year, I was at a game. Clayton Abson had 3 first-half touchdowns, but all of them were called back due to penalties.
Oh my
so I
goodness.
think it's karma kind of coming around. Patience pays off. 5 first-half touchdowns. Quite the performance from him.
Absolutely. We'll be right back.
Do you want to? A 4-state hero.
Well, it's going to be a pretty quiet night for us tonight. We'll drop back into lower 60s. 85 tomorrow, 84 on Thursday, 84 on Friday. We are going to be tracking some thunderstorms getting in here late Friday evening, Friday night, and into Saturday. And then a little bit cooler. High temp, actually only 72 on Sunday.
Sounds good, Doug. Thanks. The Overman Student Center at Pitt State was filled with eager students today looking for future career opportunities. Local businesses and organizations were on hand at this year's Fall Career Fair for students to get a glimpse into what the workforce could be like. For at least one Pitt State student said it's a chance to create connections for the future.
What I'm wanting to do with theater, which is more of the front of house, so like sound and lights, that is able to help us a lot by being able to have some of that automation so I'm not doing 501 jobs and just I can click a button and it may mess up, but it will most likely do what it needs to on its own and I may not need to touch it.
Representatives from industries all across the area participated. How about a final sports note?
In case you didn't see it today, the Chiefs' depth chart has been updated. Rashee Rice is finally on it, and the excitement can be there. His long-awaited return from the injury and then his suspension, it's coming this week against the Raiders. I expect a big game from him.
It's been a long time coming now. They are 500 and ready to take off from here. I think a lot of fans expect that. I certainly do.
I do as well. Again, wide receiver 1 back.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show starts at 5 a.m. and let's make it a great tomorrow.